Greetings. Welcome to episode 6 of Cafe Genius Impresarios. Today we are talking about calendars, hence the title, Just a Calendar. Is it just a calendar? We're going to do a quick rundown of not only the notion, but I will also refer to a project we've been working on as part of Code for Vegas, and now better known as Innovate for Vegas. It started when we were Code for Vegas, and it is ironic that our calendar project is so far behind, but that just gives us more time to make it up. So that doesn't make sense, don't worry. So let's talk about calendars. It is just a calendar after all. I don't know about you, but I have had a calendar in some form in my pocket since, certainly since I had my BlackBerry, so probably before that. So Palm Pilot had a calendar on it. Variety of tools were used to synchronize them. Nowadays, we all have our Google or Outlook or Apple calendar in our pocket on our cell phone, our mobile device, our tablets, or certainly our laptops. We can synchronize them. We can also invite people to meetings. We can be invited to meetings. We can notify people of changes to the meeting. We can cancel meetings. These are all possible because of calendars, the calendar that we all have, right? So we can assume, just like a web browser, that if you have a calendar application, that people can invite you to things, or you can invite them to things, and all the things I just said can happen. And there's a crazy reason why they all work together. The reason is called CalDave, which sounds crazy. CalDave and CardDave are part of WebDave. And if I was cool, I would have remembered what Dave stands for, but it's I'll look it up right now. But basically, what happens is, I'm off axis on the mic at the moment. What happens is, we have a standard protocol. Most of us are familiar with HTTP on our web browser. So CalDave is very similar. Typing. Yeah, my bad for not preparing. So WebDave, CalDave is, boy, what are they not saying? These are, it's a standard protocol that allows calendar data to be shared between servers and applications, whatnot. And so if Google uses CalDave, which they do, and CardDave is for contact information, like a business card. So I found it, by the way. I'm horrible. It's Friday morning, April 7th, not quite 9 o'clock, and I do have my coffee right here. So I will take the fifth otherwise. So distributed authoring and versioning, Dave. So CalDave is for calendar distributed authoring and versioning. CardDave, same. WebDave. If you've ever shared a file and been able to upload a file to like your Google Drive or your Microsoft OneDrive, I think it is, or your Apple Me Cloud, or all these things, WebDave is a standard platform for transferring files over the web and other things, right? So by using this standard that everybody has agreed on, whether it's HTTP or now HTTPS, or maybe CalDave. So by using these standards, we're able to interoperate, share calendars, invite calendar owners to attend our events, enable RSVPs. All the things we sort of take for granted, to be honest, we're capable of. They're enabled. We are capable of doing this because of these standards that are in place. They have been in place, for decades, we'll just say. And strangely enough, Apple has been a major player in this space. If anybody has ever received an email attachment that ended in ICS, iCalendar stream, you are familiar with the iCalendar, the application that Apple has had for years on their iPhone and probably on their Mac. I don't know. It's been a long time since I really used a Mac. But Apple has been a huge proponent of this standard structure to transfer calendar data around. They do the same with vCards. So you got vCalendar and vCard data structures in a plain old text file. We move those around with CalDave, and everything just works like magic. So it isn't just a calendar, although it seems like it is. But there's a lot of moving parts, a lot of many, many years of what could have been done better probably, but a slowly and organically evolving set of agreed upon standards. They're RFCs, so requests for comment. They're not really like, they're not etched in stone or anything, but they pretty much work. Having read through all of them, I can say I wish they had gone a slightly different way, but we have what we have, and it does work, and it's not, there are worse things out there. I've probably used those as well, and I'll probably talk about those another time. So calendars, they do use these standards most of the time. So why don't we use that? Well, we do. I just mentioned all the cases where we do, but so often we don't, and I'm going to talk about that after I mention this little project I have. I have pitched at our pitch workout room in March. I've been talking about it for a little while now. I call it FACE, the Focused Attention Calendar for Everyone. So what does that even mean? Here in Las Vegas, and possibly wherever you're listening to this, there's a lot of stuff going on. It's difficult to find out what is happening. There used to be, back in the old days, and I know some people listening to this will say the old days don't matter, and they're mostly correct, except for that's how we got here. So if we look back in time a bit, and they still exist today, believe it or not, the notion of a free paper usually would come out on Wednesday or Thursday. It would be chock full of advertisements for local smoke shops and random retail outlets and whatnot. But they would also list bars, clubs, venues that would have live music, comedians, other social events. And occasionally there would be some sort of business related something, right? But at least there was that. So eventually those kind of broke out into like a monthly business newsletter or magazine. I've seen them. I'm sure you have as well. The internet came along and made all that sort of moot, although again, they're still around. Las Vegas Weekly here in Las Vegas is basically a free paper every week. So they still exist, but online we're able to discover things because they are in that magazine if you get the print edition, or you can go online and you can check out Las Vegas Weekly and you're done. Oh, no, you're not, actually. You basically have to check Meetup, Eventbrite, probably Facebook still, I guess. Maybe LinkedIn, maybe your favorite particular vertical interest website, maybe a Discord event site, a set of events, a calendar, because they do support events for their communities. Maybe there's a Slack calendar. Maybe there's more. Everybody seems to be adding calendars. Any WordPress site can add a calendar. We have a few of those here too, and they're kind of junk. Why are they junk? Because they become silos of information, and the onus is on you to actually make the rounds and see what's going on. And it is the 21st century. So for the history deniers, I will give you that. We're in a whole new century. Why are we not taking advantage of tools that have been around for decades? Because they're old? Maybe. That would be unfortunate, because most technologies are old, actually. So what are we going to do? Well, my first proposal is not about events. So everything I'm about to say is not about injecting yet more activities that you will not be able to attend or participate in. It is about attention and not even about money in particular. It's about attention so that people are more aware, at least of what they want to look for, maybe attend, maybe participate in, but attention is first. So focused attention calendar for everyone. How do we do it? First of all, there are two in the entrepreneurial ecosystem, I should say, for the moment. There are two events that happen in the Innovation District, Arts District, downtown here in Las Vegas. First Friday, which happens to be today, the first Friday of April, coincidentally happens on Fridays. It moves with the month, so it's always a relative date. So that works out nicely. And then Tech Alley is always the third Saturday of each month. So that'll be April 15th this time. And that also moves with the month. So we have two relative anchor days that move relative to each month. So if we make the first week ending with if we make the first week Create Week ending with First Friday, which is supposed to be a First Friday art walk, by the way. It's in the Arts District. So the first week is Create Week. So not about events necessarily, although it is anchored by a major event. It is about attention. Hey, that was me spilling some coffee. Great. So attention on creating. That means when we engage with the local press, local media, bloggers, anyone planning things, they will know that first week is when they should look for create events and activities and information. Does that mean they are occurring during that week? Not necessarily, although they could. Second week is learn. That's when we focus on things like, how do I build a business? How do I launch a food truck? How do I start a restaurant? How do I open an art gallery? How do I kiln my project? If you're doing some clay or other sculpting, how do I do these things? How can I learn? Where can I go to learn? Who can I talk to about learning? How do I write a business plan? It could be anything. So during Learn Week, we make sure that people are aware of upcoming events and gatherings and classes and online resources and opportunities. So it's about focused attention on learning. The third week, Build, ends with Tech Alley. So during that week, anybody who's building an application, who's opening a new restaurant, who's getting their food truck wrapped, trying to get their actual art gallery assembled. Somebody's moved into what they call a cold white box, tenant improvements await. So if you've ever opened a retail establishment, you know exactly what I mean. So during Build Week, it's anybody who's actually building things. Excuse me. And then the final week of a 4-week cycle, Launch. At some point, you're going to kick that food truck off, have it park on a curb somewhere, and open the doors. You're going to open the doors to your restaurant. Your art gallery is going to open for its first show. You're going to launch your beta application, or maybe even alpha. You're going to start. So launch week is when you announce these things. I liken this, in fact, all of these weeks, but I liken it to at the end of each month here in Las Vegas, there is always, it's either on Eater or Las Vegas Eats, one of those. See, I'm more familiar with the week than the publication, which is fine. At the end of each month, they announce restaurants opening in the following month. So there you go. You know, if you're curious about new restaurants opening, they're not opening now. They're opening next month. But you know to look for what's coming up. The nice thing about that is it gives a chance for adjustments to a schedule, but you know about it ahead of time. Often a problem exists where you tell someone too soon, they forget about it. You tell them too late, they didn't plan for it. So if we develop this momentum and we have a rhythm of attention, focused attention, create, learn, build, launch, then we know to look, and then we know what to look forward to. That's the idea. Kind of inspired by Downtown Project. They used to have a rotating monthly calendar as well. That was focused on investment pools, but here we're focusing on attention. So slightly different, but hopefully a similar outcome, which is more attention. Occasionally there will be a month with, or a 4-week cycle. We'll have a bonus week. So March was one such week because of April 1st being on a Saturday. So the first Friday of the month comes the following week, a week later. So we have a bonus week now and then. What happens there? Well, something that was missing in the Downtown Project, in my opinion, and it's often missing today, is a focus on nothing. So I call it an R week. Relax, recharge, re-energize, reinvigorate, recover, R&R. We've heard them for decades. If you're a MASH fan, you heard that all the time. So R weeks are a part of this, and it reminds people that every once in a while you don't have to be worried about creating, learning, building, or launching, and sometimes you should just hang out. So that will be a focus now and then. So I once again have presented face, so we'll see if we can actually make this happen. And again, the nice thing is that this is really about engagement and announcement and awareness and just including people that may not have been paying attention that, oh, these things are happening. So they know when to look and they know when to go. You know what will help with that? A good calendar. So there's a problem in Las Vegas, in my opinion. It's discovery. How do I figure out what's going on, who to talk to, where they'll be, what are they doing as far as meetups and gatherings and classes and seminars and whatnot. There are things like First Friday and Tech Alley, as I mentioned. Some people still don't know about those. They've been First Friday's been going on for 10 years that I've lived here and years before that. Tech Alley has been going on for, it'll be 2 years in the summer, I think, if I recall correctly. So there are still people that are not aware of these events, which is fine. But where do you even go to find out about these? You go to their websites, of course. You go to ffflv.org, if I recall, and techalley.org. There you go. What about everything else? Well, then you got to go to all those websites I mentioned earlier, and then you spend your whole day trying to figure out what's going on. We do live in the 21st century, once again. So why is your Chat GPT robot not helping you? Well, where is it going to look? It has to look in all these other sites too. And sometimes the sites are password protected or they're closed communities. Can't really help with those. We'll have the same problem. But what if, you know how your Google Calendar, your Outlook Calendar, your Yahoo Calendar, your Apple Calendar, all these calendars, you can always share them. So what if you shared your calendar? What if you're an event or you don't have to share your personal calendar? Although maybe your birthday is important to everyone, totally possible. But if you share your event calendar, like say I'm organizing some pitch practice events. So my pitch practice calendar could be shared to a central server. So I'm publishing it to a calendar server. I can share it with you, and you can watch my calendar on your calendar server. You do have a calendar server. It's Google or Apple or Outlook. So they have a server, and you view it through your application on your phone or your web browser on your computer. But that server is keeping track of which events are happening when. It's getting calendar updates. If you RSVP to something, it's keeping track of that for you. So these are messages that pass between the servers, and it's nice that it's tied to your email system.
Sorry, I don't know that one.
Yeah, me neither. Smart speakers. So
This might answer your question.
No, it will not.
A smart speaker is a type of loudspeaker and voice command device with an integrated virtual assistant that offers interactive actions and hands.
I'm going to leave this in because I'm so disappointed with Alexa that we can all laugh at this together.
To extend usage beyond audio playback, such as to control home automation devices.
Completely ridiculous. So the problem is when you share your calendar, you're sharing it usually with an individual, right? It's very rare that you will share your calendar with like an organization, although it's possible. So unfortunately, you can share your calendar such that your smart speaker can read things to you. You can see that it doesn't do it very brilliantly. So what happens when you share your calendar, though, with a centralized calendar server that's built to do this? Well, suddenly you own the calendar. So you're sharing it with a silo of calendars, except that silo is able to talk to other silos. So now rather than sharing your calendar with, say, Meetup wants people to come to their website. So they want to own your event. They want you to create your event with them. They want to make you come there and maintain it and use their tools to contact your attendees and your participants. That's good for their business. Is it helpful for you? Maybe not. So suppose you share your calendar with, I don't know. So Cafe Genius shares its calendar with Innovate for Vegas, has a calendar server, say that. Or Tech Alley. Maybe Tech Alley has a calendar server. How about both? What if I share my calendar with two calendar servers, public calendar servers, running on these two websites? Now what? Well, somebody can discover my calendar on somebody else's website. They can say, oh, I'm interested in that event. Maybe I'm interested in the whole calendar. Well, you can join that. You can share that calendar with, you can subscribe to that calendar, I should say. Sorry. You can subscribe to that calendar. And now when I cancel an event or I move it, as we had to do this week due to unfortunate medical circumstances, You don't have to go wondering which website you have to check to figure out what's happening. That information comes to you, as it should. So I am updating my one calendar. The two servers I use in this example will pick up those changes. If you're familiar at all with RSS or Usenet or any number of nowadays Mastodon, different protocols, different goals, but similar outcomes, you end up with information automatically sharing across multiple places. So if you are watching that calendar and I cancel the event or reschedule it, you will find out in your calendar where you should, because you can look at your calendar and see that it's been canceled for it was Wednesday, so 5th of April, and maybe it'll be rescheduled for like the 12th of April, say. So you'll see, oh, it's on the 12th. Okay. That's it. Magic. Well, how does that help discovery? Well, now everyone is publishing their calendars such that you don't have to figure out which site to look at. You only have to go to a server that hosts our community calendars. Community, I'm using that term loosely. But if you know that Innovate for Vegas or Tech Alley or maybe First Friday Foundation, if you know that they are sharing calendars, they automatically would then be able to display to you things that are happening. They're not scraping websites anymore, which is a common practice. They're not manually entering individual events, Meetup, Eventbrite. You're basically posting copies of calendars that maintain their status. They get updated, they get RSVP propagated, they get everything happening as you would hope it would from one organizer's authoritative host to a variety of shared servers so that you can discover things more easily. That's it. Well, it's not it. All the machinery to make that happen is ongoing in the Innovate for Vegas Smart Social project. And at the moment, there's only one person working on it, but hopefully that will change. But that's the basic idea. So if you can share one calendar, if you're an organizer of an event or a meetup, you're just you. You have a Google Calendar, you have an Outlook calendar, maybe you have an iCalendar or whatever they call it on the Apple Cloud, Me Cloud, whatever it is. That's all. You don't need to launch a website. You don't need to sign up and pay money to meet up. You just have to use the thing you already have, share the calendar to a public calendar server when we deploy them, and then people will be able to discover and reshare. They'll be able to tell their friends, hey, I found this event and it's here. You don't have to build a website around your calendar. You don't have to go to great lengths. Your calendar will be shared in this decentralized federated format of multiple servers that talk to each other. And ideally, the event that you are the organizer of will be owned by you, and yet people will be able to find it in multiple places without you having to go wandering around signing up for things and maintaining and updating multiple spots, and without other people wondering which of these platforms did I see that event that I want to go to. So event information, gathering information, who to talk to, when to talk to them. These are all things that people should be able to figure out or discover using our modern technology in our smart city without so much, well, I don't want to bleep anything out, so I'll just leave it there. So that's the idea. So calendars are not just calendars. They are synchronizing platforms that we can actually put to use. They've been around for decades. Nobody's using the things that have been around for decades. They're using the simplest form to drive business to their own websites. So if we make our smart city smarter, we will be able to drive people to your events, drive attention to what you're doing, and you can talk to people directly and they can learn from you directly. Let's get rid of the middle people. This is not a business proposal. This is just a technology and cultural update that, well, we'll see what happens. It'll be a little experiment. I hope you will participate. That's where I'll leave it for today. 24 minutes. I hear the 1 hour podcasts are too long. I have a fun fact for you. You can pause a podcast and listen to it later. I hope you'll do that. So far, we've had a couple of interesting ones. We will have more interesting podcast episodes coming up. There are a few very cool people who I've lined up to have some conversations. There are some cool people I have yet to contact and there are other people who I have yet to even know about. Discovery. But enough about that. Thank you for listening. I look forward to an upcoming episode with a guest the week of April 10th. We're getting that set up. So until then, thank you so much. Have a great weekend. If you're listening on Friday, this is the first Friday. Enjoy First Friday this month or every month. Don't forget to create, learn, build, and launch.